things that we did learn during the Depression is, as far as what I learned, even as a kid, was it's better to save your money, buy what you can afford to buy, and if you don't have the money to pay for it, don't charge it. How did people survive the Great Depression? They survived by having a lot of faith and hard work, and getting out and doing things that they normally wouldn't have done as far as work is concerned. You know, if a person was a banker, they ended up. You might end up shoveling concrete, making bridges, or working, like you say, working in the
WPA.
Yeah, the WPA. But people were closer together.
I think so, yeah.
And even during the Depression, people were very close together. If somebody could help somebody else out, they helped somebody else out. And of course, even that even happens nowadays. If somebody's really, you know, well, like you got the food banks and people, they don't look down so much on people that need help, because they, you know, and that's what life is all about. You know, of course the Bible tells you that. You love your neighbor as yourself. So.
From then on, we had air raid drills in school. We had to bring blankets to school, and sort of like for earthquake preparedness. And we had the earthquake drills. We had to go under our desk, and because Hollywood, you know, California is closer to Japan than Milwaukee, so they probably didn't do that. I don't know if you did that in Milwaukee or not. Military. I had my stepfather and my uncle. My job during the war was school. Hollywood, my mother was a, what do you call that? They would go around, they wear a band to alert people to...
She was a warden.
Yeah, like a warden. And we had to pull our, you know, we had blackouts where we had to pull the shades down, turn out the lights, and she was one of those people that would go around our neighborhood.
Air raid warden.
Air raid warden, thank you. How did I feel after the war ended? Wonderful. I was still in high school. I did write letters to my relatives and to any sailor I could think of. I did write a letter to a sailor and to a couple of other people that I didn't even know in the service, because that's what high school girls did. Did you ever believe that America was really in danger of getting invaded? Yeah, because didn't a submarine come close to California? Mm-hmm. And that was scary. That was
about the closest they came, but there was also an attack. They thought it was an airplane attack that flew into the United States, but I can't remember what happened to it. But
thoughts about the Allied leaders, Eisenhower, we voted for him.
As Brett went after he got out of the service, Eisenhower.
MacArthur was kind of
that was our first time I voted, so.
MacArthur was kind of a pompous leader, wasn't he? Kind of thought a lot of himself.
You know, he was...
Loved FDR. Franklin Roosevelt was our president, you know, he was our president. All the while, practically, we were growing up, and we loved him. We thought he could do no wrong. How was life before, during, and after the war different? Well, like I said, rationing, and and as far as butter, we didn't have butter per se. We had, it was called oleomargarine, and it came in a big blob with a little yellow thing in the middle, and you take take the margarine out and you rub that little yellow thing in, you just use your hands and work that little yellow thing into the margarine and it got yellow. The whole thing, it was white margarine, oleomargarine it was called.
It's the same,
It's
you made it
oleo,
into,
you know,
you
you
made it
gotta-
into what looks like margarine now. You know, you can buy a pound of margarine, different kinds, and salt-free, et cetera, but that was the only way that you could get that margarine yellow was to snap that little yellow thing in the middle of it, and then, like she says, Patty says, you just kept on doing it until it was, and it was a really sad situation to go, but if you want, because all of the butter was going overseas to the troops, et cetera, so.
And meat was a ration too, I mean, you just had to really, I forget what else was rationed, but.
Well, gas was rationed,
Oh,
clothing clothing was
Yeah,
rationed,
certain.
and most everything was rationed, and as far as one of the advice that today, well, what advice would you give to the generation about making it through hard times? There's a saying that we've always had. We had it in the military, and we have it, but hang in there, and this too shall pass. In the military, you meant that hang in there, and it'll pass. Either you'll get transferred, or the guy that's causing you a lot of the grief will get transferred. But don't let hard times means that if the times are hard, that means that you have to be a lot tougher and do what it is that you have to do, and get it and work. Figure out what you want to do, and if you need an education, get out and get an education, and get your. I quit. Like for example, me, I quit when I was in the 10th grade in school, in high school. Went into the service. I ultimately got a GED test and passed that. And then ultimately, when the Korean War broke out, I got my high school diploma. And ultimately, I went forward. I got when I was graduated from the University of Maryland over in Tokyo. She and I went together over there. They flew us. The Air Force flew us over there for the graduation ceremony.